Do you know the locations of a hurricane? They are usually in tropic, subtropic, and very warm parts of the ocean. This is because when water gets warm enough, it evaporates and turns into clouds. When the clouds get heavy enough with rain, it falls back to the ground. If it gets too strong, then it can become a tropical cyclone or a hurricane.
A hurricane is a huge spiraling storm. It can be up to 966 kilometers, 600 miles in diameter, with winds between 74 and 200 miles, 119 and 32 kilometers per hour. Just one hurricane can generate 2.4 trillion liters of rain in one day. In order to be safe in a hurricane, you need a lot of water, an aid kit, food, flashlight, safety glasses, batteries, and gloves. And also try to find shelter if you can find any shelter.
Effects: the most devastating parts of a hurricane. The huge winds of the hurricane can bring up the sea and throw down land. This is called a storm surge. It can kill as many people as the hurricane itself. Meanwhile, the eye provides even more power by feeding it more water vapor. As long as the storm is over water, it just gets stronger and stronger. Now is a tropical depression. Once it reaches land, the cold water starts to shrink. It loses its vapor, which turns back into water. It ends in a big rainstorm called a post-tropical cyclone.
We measure hurricanes with the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale. It was created in 1971 by Herbert Saffir and Robert Simpson as a way to categorize hurricanes by their wind speed, and to this day we still use it. The weakest hurricane winds are at low Category 1 speeds, while the destructive ones can be Category 4 or higher. Let's take a look at the scale. This part of the scale contains the categories that have a central eye, but whose wind speeds aren't fast enough to be a hurricane. This part of the scale contains the hurricane wind speeds and is considered the official Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale. This part of the scale contains the minor hurricane ratings, while this part of the scale contains the major hurricane ratings. We started to name hurricanes in 1950 with the CCB U.S. military alphabet: Able, Baker, Charlie, Dog, Easy, Fox, and so on. That all changed in 1953 when the WHO decided to switch the names of hurricanes to only female names. The first female-named hurricane was Hurricane Carol. Finally, in 1979, the WHO ultimately decided to use multi-sex names for hurricanes. The first male-named hurricane was Hurricane Bob.
Believe it or not, a lot of hurricanes can easily be very destructive, even without Category 5 winds. Speaking of which, why don't we look at some hurricanes famed for their destructive powers? We'll start by taking a look at the 5 worst hurricanes in America. Number 5. Hurricane Camille. 1969. Hurricane Camille was a Category 5 hurricane that had winds at about 175 miles per hour. It hit the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Number 4. Hurricane Andrew. 1992. A small Category 5 hurricane. It had similar statistics to Hurricane Camille. Number 3. 1926 Miami hurricane. With winds at a high Category 4 strength. I think you guessed it that it hit Miami, Florida. Number 2. 1900 Galveston hurricane. This hurricane was a Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 145 miles per hour. It mostly hit Galveston, Texas, and the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Hurricane Katrina, 2005. You might know that it was a Category 5 hurricane at 175 miles per hour and that it hit the Gulf Coast. But did you know that some people believe that Katrina was a man-made hurricane? Those 5 hurricanes were only in American history. Now we are going to check out the 5 worst hurricanes in history. Number 5. 1935 Labor Day hurricane. This Category 5 hurricane really damaged the Florida Keys in 1935, but nobody thought it would be on Labor Day. Number 4, 1900 Galveston hurricane. This hurricane was a Category 4 hurricane. We won't say where it hit because we already explained it, but if you weren't really listening, then it hit Galveston. Number 3, Hurricane Katrina, 2005. You might know it was a Category 5 hurricane because we mentioned it before. And it was a man-made hurricane. Some people believe it was a man-made hurricane, though. We don't know for sure. Number 2, Hurricane Mitch, 1998. A Category 5 hurricane with winds of 177 miles per hour. Mitch's death toll was believed to be between 11,000 and 18,000 people. Number 1, the Great Hurricane of 1780. It was a monster Category 5 hurricane with winds of over 200 miles per hour, killing over 22,000 people on 6 days in October. The end, and thank you for watching. I hope you stay safe during these horrible storms.